Hi there, welcome to Jujubee DIY. I'm Sarah. Thanks so much for joining me today. Today I'm making 3 kind of vintage shabby chic DIYs for Valentine's Day. So if you want to see how I made them, stay tuned. For this first DIY, we're going to start off with this little galvanized envelope that I picked up from the Dollar Tree. It did have like a sparkly heart on it. I just used a little bit of rubbing alcohol and a scraping tool and just scraped that off. Next, we're going to use some parchment paper or some wax paper, whatever you have on hand, to just create a little bit of a template. And I'm just going to rub my finger along that front edge there, just so that I've got a place to cut. And then I'm going to kind of fit it and make sure that it fits okay. Now I'm going to use one of these wall decals from the Dollar Tree. It does feel a bit embossed, and I thought it would work out perfectly for this project. I'm going to use my template and a pencil just to mark those lines, and then I'm going to cut it out, peel the backing off, and just stick this to the front of my galvanized envelope here. And then I'm just going to do the same process for the sides, just kind of trying to fit it as best as possible. And as you can see, it was a little long down there on the end, so I'm just going to take an X-Acto knife and trim it off. Then using a little finger sander, I'm going to go around all the edges and just clean them up by sanding off any excess material. We also need to cover the inside of our envelope, so I'm just going to place that down onto one of these wall stickers, trace it out with a pencil, and then cut it out. Now, you're probably thinking that's not going to fit on the inside of your envelope, and you'd be right about that. So what I'm going to do to fix that is I am going to angle cut from the bottom to that top edge. And I'm going to make sure that I don't cut much at that top edge, just the bottom, enough to be able to slide that into the envelope. Now, if it doesn't cover side to side at the very bottom of the envelope, that's not going to be a big deal because you're not going to see that. I'm going to press that down, and then I'll go around the edges with that sander to get off any extra material. I gave my envelope 2 coats of the Waverly Chalk paint in the color Ballet Slipper, and then I also painted 3 hearts, 3 different colors. So I used those Dollar Tree wood hearts, and I painted 3 of them pink, 3 of them white, and 3 of them the dusky blue from Waverly. Now I'm going to use mineral and a very dry brush to just bring out that texture from a wall sticker. And I'm just barely brushing on any paint. I just really want to kind of catch those raised edges. And as you can see, it just brings it out so well. I love how this turned out. I'm also going to dry brush my little hearts. Like I said, I did 2 small ones and 1 large one in the 3 different colors. And I will do that distressing on each of the 9 hearts. I grabbed one of these shiplap hearts from the Dollar Tree. These are so cute. I love that they're coming out with more of the kind of farmhouse shiplap look items at the Dollar Tree. And so what I did is I painted 1 section in the Ballet Slipper from Waverly. 1 section, that middle section, is going to be the dusky blue. I think that's what it's called. I'll leave the colors and everything that I use down in my description below. But I think it's called dusky blue. It's their new blue that they came out with last year. And then that last section, I will just paint white. Going in with the mineral from Waverly and a dry brush, I am just going to distress the front of this heart. It does have like a wood grain, like a faux wood grain kind of texture on it. So I'm just kind of pulling out that texture a little bit with this dry brushing technique, just making it look vintage and old. Now I'm going to go in with some truffle, and I'm going to again distress this heart. My concentration on the truffle is the edges. I really want this to look shabby and worn vintage. I am not going for the traditional shabby chic look here, but more of like a vintage shabby chic. And I am going to just really distress this, make it look like it's been around the block for a while. Now I'm going in with some wax. This is from Joann's, and I can't remember the name of it. I think it's Art Alchemy or something like that. But it is just a colored wax, and I'm using this kind of bronze color. It's beautiful. Or maybe it's a brass. Again, I'll leave the colors that I use and the brands in the description box below. But wax is a fun way to distress and bring out some textures. And basically all you do is you put your finger in it and you rub it where you want it. And you can pretty much add wax to everything: papers, plastics, wood, lace. Like, I have added wax to everything. I've been using wax for a really long time, but have never actually used it on my channel before. So I have seen other creators using it recently, and I thought this is a great opportunity to use it. I added my envelope to my plaque using some E6000 and hot glue. Hot glue kind of to keep it there temporarily while the E6000 worked its magic. And then I just arranged my hearts with the bigger hearts inside the envelope and the smaller hearts kind of bursting out from there. Now I'm adding these little shabby chic lace flowers that I created. I will have a tutorial at the very end of this video on how I made those. They're super easy and fun to make, but I decided to just kind of add that tutorial at the end. So if you're interested in finding out how I made those, make sure you stick around to the end. And here is a look at how this cute sign turned out. Today I'm partnering with my sweet friend Annie from Indie Annie Jones. She does shabby chic, romantic, vintage, cottagecore DIYs on a budget so well. She's got a very unique style, and I just love everything she comes up with. If you've never been over to her channel, definitely go check her out. Tell her I sent you and say hi from me. Also, make sure you check out her shabby chic video from today. I will leave that in my description box down below. Now let's move on to the next DIY. For this DIY, we're going to use this block heart from the Dollar Tree and some of these stickers. These are just kind of pearl and gemstone type stickers. They come in a long strip. And I'm just going to start adding them to the front of my heart that I painted with the Waverly Chalk paint in the color Ballet Slipper. Now you're going to notice that you're not going to be able to kind of curve these stickers around because they're a little bit thicker. So what I did is I just cut them and then kept kind of going around. And there were a couple places where it looked like maybe there was some pieces missing. I just went back in with just like individual pieces of the gemstones and kind of filled those in after I completed the whole entire heart. But yeah, you can see here, I'm just adding it, curving it as much as possible, and then cutting what I need to, and then continuing around. And it worked out pretty well. A little tiny bit time consuming, but not too bad. After I get all the stickers placed, I'm going to go over the stickers with the Waverly Chalk paint and Ballet Slipper. Again, just to make this look like one solid piece. I did end up doing 2 coats of paint over the top of the stickers. Now I'm going to go in with some more wax. As you can see, this is going to be a theme for today's video. And I am going to add this wax to bring out that texture of the stickers. And like I said, you just put your finger in there. It's just a wax that you just rub on, and it is so easy to use, and it creates such a great effect. I really do love this wax, and I'm using a gold color. Again, I can't remember the names of them. I'm so bad about that, but I'll leave them in my description box below. So I'm just going to rub that all over those stickers just to bring out that texture and make it look super sweet. Look how cute that is. Now I'm going to add 3 more of these lace decorations that I made. And you can see that I have 3 little rosebuds on that one side. I ended up not liking that, so I took those off, and in place of the roses, I am going to use this key that I picked up from Michael's a billion years ago, but I know that Amazon carries keys like this. And then one of these laser cut hearts from the Dollar Tree. I'm going to cover the whole front side of this laser cut decoration with some of that wax, and again, just dipping my finger in it and rubbing it on. It's so easy to use. And then I just use a baby wipe to clean my finger off. And then I'm going to just glue everything down. I had 2 bits of lace that I just knotted together. They were just leftover pieces from the little rosettes that I made with the lace. And I thought that this would be perfect inside my key. And here is a look at how this beautiful decoration turned out. I am in love with it. For our last DIY of the day, I'm going to use these little wood houses that I picked up at Michael's at Christmas time. Now, if you don't have any of these houses, you could definitely just use some 2x4, cut them down with a miter box and saw into the house shape, paint on the little windows, and you would have something very similar. But I painted one in the Ballet Slipper, one in that dusky blue, and then one in white. Now I'm going to use some rub-on transfers from the Dollar Tree, and Oreo decided that she needed some attention and love at this very moment. So I had to stop and give her a little scratch, and yeah, little stinker. So basically, I'm just going to cut off a piece of this rub-on transfer that I liked. I just kind of marked it out ahead of time. And then I'm just going to use this little tool from the Dollar Tree to rub my transfer down. So just rubbing it all down. I know you guys have seen me do this before, but for anybody who hasn't, you want to make sure that you just rub every little bit of it. And then when you go to take off the transfer, just do it slowly so that you can make sure that you've got everything rubbed down. And then because these holes are for the windows are carved out completely, I'm just going to remove any of the rub-on transfer that was kind of sitting inside those windows. Now using that wax, I'm just going to go around those outside edges, kind of put a little bit on the windows, just add it where I think that it should go. I was having so much fun with this wax, and I had forgotten how much that I loved it. It's been a while since I've used it, and I really just enjoy it a lot. So you guys will probably see more of it in the future. And real quickly, I'm going to just show you kind of the other 2 houses. I added the roses to that middle house, the white one, and then kind of this bottom corner of that rub-on transfer with the mason jar and the word joy, and again going around all of the edges with that wax. Now I have these little wood pieces that I picked up from the Dollar Tree. I picked out a heart for one, the little bird for another, and then in another kit that was there was these bicycles. And I am going to use the wax on the bicycle to completely cover it to make it look like a gold color. And then I'll go around the outside edge of the heart as well. And for our bird, I'll just paint that with the mineral chalk paint. And then I'm just going to glue everything down. And as you can see, I added a little bit of that wax to that little rosette, that lace rosette that I made, just to kind of make it a little more shabby. And then I'm just going to glue everything down. So cute, so easy. I found a little button in my stash that went perfectly with this. And then I'm going to add a little bow to the blue house. This is just lace from the Dollar Tree. And then one of these heart picks that I took off the pick and added to the center of the bow. And here's a look at our shabby chic little houses. I love how these turned out. I think they're so cute, and I think that they would display all year long. Now for our mini lace rosette tutorial, you're just going to take a length of lace. This is probably 20 inches of lace here, but any length of lace will be fine for this. You're going to use a needle and thread, not the end of your thread, so that you've got a bit of a stopper. And then you are going to do a gather stitch along the very bottom edge of one side of your lace. And a gather stitch is just in, out, in, out, in, out on your needle. It's a very simple and easy stitch. And you just continue going all the way up your lace until you have completed your entire length. Now that the entire length of lace is gathered, you can start pulling and gathering those edges. Now you'll see with this particular piece that I ended up making this lace piece a little bit too long, but that's okay because what I end up doing, I kind of fight with it and then I'm like, this isn't gonna work. So what I end up doing is kind of twirling around it, so doing a spiral, I guess, along its self. So I kind of spiraled it through and then tacked it down with a couple of stitches with my needle and thread. And you'll see that here in just a second. But this lace was just a little bit thicker than some of the other lace I had already used. And so the length that I used for some of the other rosettes just didn't work as well with this one as far as like making it a single layer rosette, but it worked out great to make it a multi-layer rosette, which I love the way that this turned out actually in the long run, which is why I went ahead and kept that here. But here is a more delicate piece of lace. This lace comes from Walmart, and again, just doing that gathering stitch along that edge of the lace. These are super simple, super cute, and you can do this with regular ribbon as well. The sheer ribbons from the Dollar Tree work really, really well for this. And then a couple of different laces that kind of ecru color was the regular lace that you can buy on the ribbon rolls at the Dollar Tree. And then I decided that I wanted to coffee dye a couple of the white ones. I just added some instant coffee to a little bit of water and let them sit for about 10 minutes, and then pulled them out and just dried them in between that cloth by pressing all of the extra liquid out. And then you just embellish the middles of them with buttons or beads or any kind of bling that you want. You can layer these with multiple sizes of rosettes. So you could do a couple of different sizes and layer them up. And they are perfect for your shabby chic decor. Well, guys, that's all I have for you today. As always, let me know in the comments down below which project was your favorite from today. And I hope that you go check out Annie's channel if you've never been over there before. And if you've been over there before, make sure you check out her video that I will link down below. I hope you have a happy, healthy, and blessed day, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.